So with some help, I just carefully did whatever this is. Yeah, so we are yogurt time. So 22 days left until the used purge and time for our daily Canada Post strike update. So hits day 25, issues update, we'll check that. Hit wall on updates, that's not good. And then frustration mounts, and then an update on the impact and stuff like that. So let's just see what this is. So Canada Post issues Sunday update strike issue, yeah, update on strike. Waiting for formal response. Is actively sharing stuff. Focuses should be on moving forward. That just sounds like the most generic thing I've read. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything about it that's specific. One might be missing something just with a quick look over. And then this one here, can't really look at this. So apparently there's that, but we can see it in the headline here. So yeah, negotiations hit wall and proposal. Neither side would confirm whether they've officially responded to the offer. So yeah, basically no updates on the strike. So yeah, 25 days in, and yeah, it's still possible at this point that we'd be looking at the strike continuing into the new year, but honestly, no idea on that. I do doubt that though, to a point, because yeah, the striking workers aren't getting paid, so it's not like they can just be on strike forever. So yeah, most likely at this point, hopefully sometime within the next week or two, there'll be some intervention to finally get that strike over. Yeah, so then the goal for today is to use the cool marker I got to start working on the changing of the eBay inventory stuff. And yeah, so then we've got these here. We will be getting more, but for now we've got these ones, and then yeah, we will start just seeing what we can do with this. So yeah, after a whole bunch more testing and stuff like that, yeah, it's just, you're gonna have a reflection on it. I mean, there are theoretically, or realistically, there are setups out there that do minimize it to an extent. And they will exist on pretty much every single image. Even in official product renders, you'll still see something like that. But then the thing that at that point is, if you can't eliminate it, you want to either minimize it or control where it goes. So when you have it laying down, I'll see if it'll show here. But yeah, as you can kind of see a little bit on the camera, when it lays down, it creates like a square around the face, or a rectangle, I should say. And that is quite distracting when viewing it and stuff like that. And it could more easily confuse people who are looking at the images, versus if you have it standing up. As you can see here, there's a circular shape on the top of the head, and that is a more well-known shape for light reflections and stuff that everyone is used to. So if you have the option between the two, then yeah, standing it up and stuff like that is going to be the better option. And yeah, so we are going to see what we can do. And yeah, so it'll just end up being standing up like this. I could at this point then use the photo box we have over there. However, I am not sure where the cords are to power it, and the lights on that are not as good as these lights, and I'm pretty sure I could reduce it if I turn the light down a little bit, but it's negligible at best, because then you would also make it darker in the image, meaning the colors aren't quite as accurate and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just going to work with this stuff. And then I tried the thing again now that it's here, and it didn't really make any difference. So yeah, I will probably just have it like this then. So now that we've got the other method with him standing up now and stuff, we can now once more review what we are going to be having now for the stuff. So yeah, this is the old one where you've got all of the different angles of it and stuff like that. And then we have the new one. It is one image. It's a much closer up image, because the old one had to get like the base to stay there, and it was taken from farther away. And as you can see, some of them, though I'm not sure how much it'll pick up on the video, but it is a somewhat blurry image and stuff like that. And even with these ones here, you can still see some of the light reflection lines on the helmet there and stuff like that. So no matter how you do, even with the old ones, I still had that. For that, And yeah, so then that was the old one, and so then this is the new one, a much closer up image, which will also better help with the lighting and stuff like that. Like for example here, the entire torso area here is dark because the light was only from the top down. Actually, I think I might have had one light source going horizontally like this in front of it, but I'm not entirely sure. But then this one here, we've got a much better light source, so there's only a little bit of shadowing underneath the helmet. And then we have one with the helmet off, and then we have the back of the minifigure. All of them are much higher quality images and stuff like that. And then the best offer is re-added. We've got the new title and stuff like that. So yeah, time to work on almost 1,000 more. But yeah, so it's 8 p.m. so I've got to pull orders soon, but I think orders were a little bit higher than our last shipping day for total amount being shipped out. I'm not sure if that includes dollar amount. It might. I'd have to double check though. But yeah, so we've got 9 lots, 3 lots, 95 lots, 7 lots, 15 lots, 56 lots, and those 2 are letter mail, so they won't go. But yeah, so that there we've got, so 75, 95, about 112, then 240, 250, then 263, 280, and then 280. 298, so about 298 there, and then we have a few on eBay that are going on this shipping day, so just over 300 in sales. Still much lower than the normal one, but we are able to have at least a few again, and yeah, time to get back to work. So then now that I've got a few of them done, then I can just bring them over to the area over here, just set them here for the moment, and then now I can look at the other things here, and that's what I had missed, but I was gonna have a droid one, but yeah, this is by far still not complete or anything like that. So Jedi, Sith, Soldier, and other for Star Wars. So these guys are soldiers. I don't think that one's a clone pilot, so that one goes there, that goes there, that one goes in here, and then these here would then all go into the other category. And yeah, so we will hopefully be expanding this to have a lot more options. So like droids, clones, then other stuff as well. But yeah, I'll get to pulling orders now. So then, yeah, we will still be keeping all of the cards here for the time being. And then only after, like, I don't know, a year or something of not using them, then we would consider throwing them out or something like that. But yeah, we will see when we get to that point. But yeah, so there's that, and time to start pulling orders. But then since we'll probably have this set up here for a while, I will put a piece of tape on the floor just to make it a less of a tripping hazard. Yogurt time. So received the first item not received case in relation to the Canada Post strike, and it's a little bit weird since it's from a buyer who's got hundreds of feedback, and it's for an item that costed $3.49. So yeah, it's just really weird. I'm not sure why they did this. I mean, on eBay, once you have an item not received case, if you don't have tracking, which is normal in Canada, then there's like literally nothing you can do. So I am hoping that since I told the buyer Canada Post on strike, I'm just hoping that for some odd reason they just never knew about the strike, and then they can look into it and hopefully remove it. But if they don't do that, then I've got like 2 days or maybe 3, but roughly 2-ish days to refund them. Otherwise, eBay will automatically refund them and then put a strike on my account. So yeah, not much to really do about that. And yeah, knew it was going to happen with the strike, but yeah, nothing to do about it. So I found a thread that goes somewhat in depth for the situation in response to the item not received case on eBay. And yeah, basically it seems like everyone who's contacted eBay customer services is being told by eBay to just refund the customer, and that's it. There's nothing else that can be done, which still seems a little bit weird because in the email it has something here. So yeah, like, okay, protections for the next. So yeah, they're fine with the late shipment rates. And then so additionally, all item not received claims are now on hold, is what they state, which is a little bit interesting, and I'm not entirely sure because I just got the item not received case filed against me, and it says I've got until the 12th or 13th to respond, and today's the 10th. So yeah, I'm just not quite sure what it means. So yeah, then I might just, out of curiosity, ask on the eBay I have no idea what that is, and I'm not sure if it'll pick up the audio on the camera, but there's definitely some scratching behind that door, and I've seen enough horror movies that I should not investigate that or pay any attention to it. Yeah, so I just might ask on here to see if anyone else knows on that. But yeah, I mean, I just checked, and I do have a little bit of room on the on eBay for late shipments and stuff like that, or like item not received cases with like you can have like up to like 0.5% I think of cases can be closed without seller resolution before you lose your top rated seller benefits and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of room for that, so I might just not do anything and see if that happens, because worst case scenario I'll get a strike on the account, but it's not like one strike you lose everything or anything like that. You have a little bit of room. So yeah, like the email clearly states that all item not received cases are on hold because of the strike. So in theory there shouldn't be a problem, but even if I'm wrong, then technically it won't really be too big of a problem. I don't know. It's just a bit confusing, but yeah, I got lots of work left to do for the minifigure update. Yogurt time. 20 days left till the used purge, and time for our daily Canada Post strike update. So tensions rising as it nears the 4-week mark, and talks deadlock again, with even despite, well, I mean, it wasn't like it was too crazy of a wage difference thing, but then, like, cause they're still like super far apart, but yeah, so seems like wages are causing it again for a deadlock, so seems like no updates again. And then eBay had another email in regards to the strike, and it made it a little bit more confusing again. So let's see if I can find it back over here. So our eBay money back guarantee will apply if your order is delayed because of the strike. So based off of that wording, it's almost sounding like if your item's delayed, you can get a refund if you buy something, which I'm thinking they don't mean that, because the next line says, if your order does not arrive in a reasonable amount of time after the strike, after the labor disruption ends, after the end of the labor disruption, to contact them. But then the beginning says the money back guarantee will apply if your order is delayed. So I'm not sure if the money back guarantee applying is in regards to like maybe a delayed time frame, because like the eBay money back guarantee, it's like might be 90 days or something, even though you got like 180 days with your with PayPal or your credit card and stuff like that. So I'm not entirely sure if they're just saying that that's just like going to be fine and they don't have to worry about the exact day deadline in that regards, because yeah, it's just a bit confusing to have stuff there. But yeah, still no updates on that. And yeah, I'm just going to leave the thing and see what happens. If the other email is correct in saying that there is not going to be any of the item not received cases that get processed in Canada until it ends, or what. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, then back to work now on the stuff. So last night I was able to photograph a whole bunch more of these. And that's the one thing, I'm not sure if I just mentioned it earlier in this vlog or not. But now I can actually just first photograph a whole bunch of them and then work on updating the listings after, instead of updating one listing, photographing for it, updating another listing, photographing for it. So it should be a lot more effective this way. So yeah, we finished the first row. There's a couple here. These ones are the ones that sold. And so I'm just leaving them for now. And then when I relist them, then I can work on fixing those listings then and stuff like that. And then, yeah, so we've got a little bit more left in this row that I'm going to photograph. I'm going to try to aim for one row at a time. And then once that's done, then go to the updating the listings themselves, and then photograph the next row, update those and stuff. So then we've got 3 rows here and a little bit left on this one. And then we have over here the 4 or 5 rows here, although these ones here, a lot of them are much emptier than the other ones for that. And then we have this one here, which is also emptier, I think, than the one we are currently working on. So yeah, then yeah, we've got the 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows left. But yeah, thankfully not all of them are that filled. This stuff here is all of the incomplete ones and stuff like that. So not sure why there's a floof there. But yeah, so then time to get back to work on this. So yeah, then now that I did confirm that I can just photograph a whole bunch of the different stuff for the things and then work on updating the listings, the one thing that I've been thinking of is that it might actually work if I were to create a permanent setup for this stuff here, because like we still gotta potentially get another table here and stuff set up, because then yeah, we'll like have the washing stuff here and then drying stuff over here and stuff like that. So I might see if like once we have all this stuff figured out over here, then I might like, for example, put it on this counter or something like that, and then I don't have to worry about trying to get all of the positioning and everything set up every single time I want to add stuff, and then I can just go there, take the photographs, and then work on listing it at the computer and stuff like that. So that should help as well with once we get back to a whole bunch of listing to be able to get a lot more listed. So then just finished with the next row. So all of these have now been fully updated and stuff like that. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that should be all except for the few that sold of the Star Wars ones now. And also the Minoc, because I'm probably going to delete that one because I'm trying to avoid the more complicated things. Like, for example, if a minifigures accessory includes multiple parts, like more than 2 or something like that, then I am going to be avoiding that as well. And then so for this one here, since it isn't a minifigure and it contains a whole bunch of parts and it's like $5, maybe $6 or something like that, I'm just going to avoid that one as well. But yeah, so then the Star Wars should now all be done. So we've got some superheroes, 2 rows of that. Then we've got the Harry Potter stuff, and then we've got the other 2 boxes. But yeah, so this here is all done, and yeah, time to get to work on the next one. And then the prices on just about everything, I think like 2 of them I actually raised the prices slightly, but every single other one for the most part has had its price dropped by a minimum of like 4 cents, to drop it from like $29.99 to $29.95, because I'm trying the 5 ending and stuff like that, but that would only be a few of them. Most of them are dropped by at least 50 cents, some by several dollars. I think some of them were dropped by like $10-15 and stuff like that, because I think like the one Han Solo here somewhere, if I can find him, one of the Han Solos here, I think it's this one here, I think. It used to be exclusive to the one larger set there. However, it was then re-released into, I think it was 2 different books or something. And so its price was falling a whole bunch and stuff like that. So yeah, I was just able to adjust the prices on a whole bunch of that stuff there. And yeah, it is 10:20 p.m. So I'll get a little bit more done and start photographing for tomorrow. But yeah, probably won't get anything else listed tonight or like updated. Yogurt time. 19 days left until the used purge, so time for our daily Canada Post strike update. So settlement reached in complaints. Oh no, settlement reached in layoffs complaint. Oh yeah, in complaint over layoffs. Okay, had they definitely could have worded that to be less hopeful. That meant that a settlement was reached in the strike. But yeah, so the union says unfair labor practices complaint has been resolved, and stuff like that. So yeah, it seems to be no updates at all. So yeah, just that stuff there, but nothing else new. So yeah, backlog of critical documents grows. Almost a month into the strike now, but yeah, no updates. I'm taking the card out as a reminder to pull orders for tomorrow, because tomorrow's the next shipping day. But currently, due to the strike and the decreasing lot count with the store purge and stuff like that, there's currently no orders to ship out. Like, I mean, we did have some orders, but none of them were parcel. Since, like, Canada Post is on strike, we can't ship out the letter mail ones. So, yeah, on Tuesday when we shipped stuff out, we still had 10 parcel orders that we were able to ship out. But then today is Thursday, so tomorrow is Friday when we ship stuff out, and currently we've got 0 orders that would be shipped parcel. I'm not sure if we are going to be hitting the deadline for the eBay ones that sold, because we sold a few more on eBay, and I'm not sure if the deadline, because I said another 2-week vacation on the store, I'm not sure if the deadline for that is up, because if that's over, then I'll ship out a few of those, because I think there's like 3 orders. So I know that the late shipment rate technically doesn't apply and stuff like that, but I'll just ship out those 3 then at my own expense, if we're at that deadline, and then reset it for another 2 weeks and hope that some progress has been made by then. But yeah, so like mentioned prior, we are currently 19 days away from the used purge, and then if the Canada Post strike for some reason isn't resolved in 19 days, then I am just going to be removing Canada Post as an option for shipping across all platforms. Well, maybe not eBay. Well, maybe eBay. I'm not sure. eBay is the one that it would be a little bit more interesting to see the impact on that. But at least for Bricklink, I would just completely stop offering it, and I would only offer parcel until the strike is over and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like technically, it wouldn't really make too big of a difference at this point. But yeah, because in 19 days, that means that strike would have gone for over 1.5 months, and that's just quite a long time and stuff like that. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens when we get there. We haven't confirmed any decisions yet entirely, and yeah, we still have a whole bunch of stuff to do, so I'm going to get to work on the superheroes column now and get all this stuff updated just like we did the Star Wars. And then, yeah, I should emphasize we did fully expect there to be a massive slowdown in sales as we do approach the used purge. And then after the used purge, it'll be slow for a while. It's not like quite like I'm starting from scratch per se. I'll still have most of the eBay stuff still, because even though I haven't rebuilt them in a little while, I still will have almost 1,000 of them for sale, and then we will hopefully be increasing that very fast as we get to listing again, because we've got all the minifigures over there. And then eBay, it won't be quite starting from scratch either, because we still have like 6,000 new lots for sale or something like that, and we got like 100 sets ready to part out and stuff like that. So we won't just like be like as if we had just opened a store type level sales, but we do still fully expect there to be a very slow period over the couple months and stuff like that as we start to get everything back in order and everything like that. However, that is just made much more noticeable, like by a lot, in relation to the Canada Post strike, because of the Canada Post strike. Even though a good amount of orders could still ship parcel and stuff like that, buyers are just avoiding shopping online because they hear on the news all the time about how Canada Post is on strike for almost a month now. And so then they just, unless it's like Amazon or something like that, where they know it's like its own delivery system, they just want to avoid buying stuff online. So then that takes a massive hit and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just growing the problem. But we did still expect this to an extent. It's not like it's a complete shock that we're having a slowdown in sales. It's just that it's a lot more noticeable than would have been expected because of the strike, but it's not the end of the world or anything like that. But we still hope that the strike ends soon. But yeah, I am fully convinced that it is still the best decision to go forward. Like, I mean, yeah, in theory, we could have just kept all the old inventory for years and years and stuff like that. But I do still believe that the best move is to just sell off all of the cheap stuff that is only a few cents per brick, and then only focus on the more specialty parts, and then only have like the common bricks if it's new bricks and stuff like that. And yeah, it should still work out in the end. And yeah, it'll just be a bumpy, well, probably from when the sales really started slowing down, when the strike started, I'd probably say 6 months or so until things get back to normal. Probably a little bit less potentially. All depends on how everything goes, because yeah, Canada Post strike was unexpected until it started, and you never know what else will happen that'll be unexpected. But yeah, hopefully things should be back to normal before too long. But yeah, we can start listing in just 19 days. So this morning it was -5 degrees outside, but then we had, it was just about 80 kilometer an hour winds So that dropped the temperature down by 15 degrees, or maybe a little bit more, and the winds might have been a little bit faster, but that's when I saw it on my phone, because I know it was a lot wilder before that, so I'm assuming that it was higher at some point. So with it being negative 20 outside, and our heater, for some reason, only ever wanting to heat upstairs and never the basement, I think it's time to try and find the heater that we always used to have, and I have no idea where it is, so our next goal is to try and find the heater. Found it. It is all the way over here, right underneath the bathroom. It's like taking a dog for a walk. I don't think that dogs do that. So today I was able to completely finish this row, and I can't remember if I still had a few left from the Star Wars row. I don't think so though. And then I was able to completely photograph the second row and then get about half of that done, and about half of it remains. I know it's not too much or anything like that, but the thing with this is that it's just such a mundane thing that it takes a lot of just determination, for lack of better words, to do. So it's just a real slow process, and stuff like that. And yeah, so I mean, it's going to get done, but I don't think I can make myself go any faster, because it's just such a repetitive thing and stuff like that. And knowing that we still have all this, that entire row, and then the two containers here, the one up here and the one over here left, doesn't help make it want to go any faster. So yeah, we are still working on it, but it will still be a little while before it's done. But yeah, within the 19 days, we should be able to finish this and then get a couple of the other things set up before the new year. And then once it's the new year, then we get to finally have the fun, figure out what the total weight is of the minifigures, start working on listing it, some minifigure haul videos, washing it, and all that fun stuff. So 19 more days of the calm, and then it's going to be getting a whole bunch of stuff done. Yogurt time. So we did then end up having one thing that did sell that has to go parcel. So we do have something to ship out today. So we have to go to the grocery store that's right next to it anyways. So it's not like it's just a whole trip for one package. But yeah, 18 days left until the purge, and time for our daily Canada Post strike update. So the federal minister asks Labor Board to end strike. Ottawa directs Labor Board to order striking Canada Post. Okay, so Ottawa directs. So wait, the federal minister asks them. So, federal government orders end to Canada Post strike. Okay, that is actually interesting. So we might finally be nearing the end of it. I don't want to jinx it though, but I'll look more into it. But it might finally be there. So yeah, then I did some more looking into it, and so yeah, for the different things. So yeah, the federal government orders end to Canada Post strike while Commission tries to reach a new contract. So from what I understand is that the employees are supposed to go back to work early next week. It's a Friday today, so it probably won't be till Monday until we have things officially with the things moving again and stuff like that, because it's Friday is usually the last mail delivery day for stuff, and so then nothing will get delivered today because it's already almost 3 p.m. on a Friday. Although, what time were these things announced? 2 hours ago for that, 4 hours ago, 1 hour ago, 4 hours ago. So yeah, and just a few hours ago is when it was reached or announced or something. So based off of this, they have until May 22nd for a commission to try and figure out what to do. And at that point, then they will present a proposal for a settlement for both sides on that time. But yeah, so the strike began November 15, and it is currently December 13. So yeah, just shy of a month. And yeah, so we have a whole bunch of this stuff here. So by the sounds of it, it seems like the workers are defaulting to the pre-strike contract until the May 22nd. But yeah, so yeah, like here, it'll be too late to salvage any of the Christmas holiday season for small businesses. With a massive backlog, it'll be nearly impossible for any new shipments to make it to Canadians before Christmas through Canada Post. So yeah, it's already too late for the Christmas season. We already kind of knew that. But yeah, the strike might finally be over. So assuming because by the sounds of it, the government ordered the end of the strike, or like told a board to order the end of the strike, and that board just has to confirm that there's no reasonable path forward. And considering it's been a month and neither side has really done anything all that much other than for a few things here and there, it basically everyone, like all of the people who seem to know what they're talking about in relation to that, think that it'll just pass without a doubt. So presumably Monday then or so. So yeah, then if it started November 15th, then assuming that it ends on Monday, that would be, well, Saturday's the 14th, Sunday's the 15th, so Monday would be the 16th. So almost a full month of striking, and yeah, it's finally over. So yeah, then based off of all the stuff that we had, it seems like the Canada Post strike has probably costed, it's not necessarily an exact amount, but eBay sales, I think the last time I checked, they're down almost 90%. And then Brickhouse sales are completely off, and then Bricklink sales are down. So if I had to guess, now that it's gone on for a full month, my initial estimate when it started was around $5,000 in losses. But now that we're here, and like, for example, today I'm shipping out $15 in orders, then, well, I mean, there's like, I think one other $20 order, or maybe it was a $7 order, I can't remember. But yeah, at this point, we are currently estimating almost $10,000 in lost sales in relation to the strike, but it is now finally almost over. We already missed the Christmas season though, so it's not like we're going to be getting a massive bump in sales, but it will be relative to the pre-strike levels. It will be, I mean, relative to the strike levels, it will at least be an increase there, but it will be a couple weeks before things get back to normal, because they have millions of packages that are backlogged and all the employees have to get back to work and stuff like that. So yeah, it'll still be weeks before things return to a somewhat normal thing. And then depending on how things go, it's entirely possible that they'll go on strike again in May. I have no idea. But at least for now, it seems like it is finally over, and yeah, might be able to get the orders that were on hold shipped out then sometime maybe next week. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so over here I've got some orders that have been on hold since November 15th. Like every single one of these I did message the buyer. I have a thing here. Let me see if I can get it up. I was actually had that thing open for the other thing. So yeah, I have basically, one second, let me just get that. Yeah, so basically a message that I would send to every buyer that the order is on hold for. So it's not like they're surprised by the way or anything like that. So every single one of them is messaged. But yeah, going to ship the one out today, and then hopefully Tuesday on our next shipping day, I can potentially drop off some packages again from the letter mail. So yeah, then just got back from Walmart, and so yeah, I picked up a couple more bags that I needed here, and yeah, because I was running out of them as up there, although I thought I had only one or two left, but it turns out I have three left, so I had a few more than expected, but still topped up on bags, because go through maybe 2,000 of these a year, maybe a bit less, bit more, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, just got a few more of those. And then we got some of the drawers. And yeah, so then I'll just move it over here and then bring this one down to show the comparison. So yeah, as mentioned in the prior clips, that we had been hoping to get some that were a little bit smaller, because it's a bit excessive. Like, for example, if in the future I have a drawer for like Lion Knights, or like Anakin Skywalker, or well, I'd mix that with Luke Skywalker just so I don't mix them up. But yeah, if I were to have a drawer for something like that, then a drawer this massive would be quite excessive. But then if you have a drawer like this, it's still got a good amount of space, but you can have a lot more variety in the drawers without it being just a massive drawer and stuff like that. So we just started with 5. It's full price right now, and because of the strike, we're trying to avoid as many unnecessary expenses as possible. So we only got 5 of them, but then if they go on sale in the future, and as hopefully sales start to return to a somewhat normal level, then we can pick up spending again and stuff like that. And then we can get a whole bunch more of these, but just to work on transferring the system over and stuff like that, these in combination with the 2 of these that we have set up, I'll probably leave these for now. I'll probably adjust the labels so we have like Harry Potter in the one and stuff like that. And then for the more specific ones, I will go to these containers here and stuff like that. So yeah, this here is a good start, and we can get more of these in the future for that stuff there. But yeah, I don't think there's really a need to get any that are too much larger. There was one where they were a little bit more narrow and had a bit more depth, but then yeah, you lose some of the width, so it has more height, which could theoretically store a bit more, but then you don't have quite as much to work with width-wise, which makes it more difficult. Because if you open a drawer here, like you can compare these two here, this one here, even if this one was taller, it would be easier to find stuff in this one because you just got a lot more surface area to look around and stuff like that. So yeah, then just opted for the wider ones that weren't quite as deep. But yeah, then that should hopefully help with just the base for the stuff. It won't be anywhere near enough because I think we were doing some math earlier or yesterday or something, and I think we needed at least 40 to 50 drawers in order to get enough for at least the present and near future as we start to list a whole bunch. But yeah, we've only got the 15 here and then the 6 large ones, but it's something to get things started. If anyone wants to pause and use this code, feel free to go ahead because it's only 1 per account. But yeah, then before I get to all the labeling and stuff like that for the new drawers, I'm just going to first finish with all of the updates and stuff like that for the minifigures. Scrolling through just figuring the current market price of things can sometimes be fun. Like, for example, this here is SH172, now SH0172, but this here is what the minifigure looks like for Hawkeye. And then when looking at comps of this minifigure and stuff like that, I came across this listing here. So Hawkeye with bow from the same sets that this is from, and it says SH172. And then, so as a reference, this is the minifigure, and this is what they listed. The only thing that's the same is the head. He has a different color hair, completely different torso. Let's actually just take this here out of the bag to put it side by side. But yeah, so on the left is what it looks like, and on the right is the listing. And yeah, sometimes you wonder, like, I mean, some of them will have just slight things wrong, like the wrong hand color. Actually, that one's even missing the one hand there for the correct color and stuff like that. And yeah, sometimes you just wonder what's happening. Sometimes it's, yeah, just only one thing, but then occasionally you'll just find gems like this where it's like, I mean, I can kind of get how it looks like slightly similar, but like, yeah, definitely an interesting one to figure out how stuff like that happens. All of the Harry Potter minifigures are now photographed, and yeah, tomorrow should hopefully be able to get a whole bunch of this stuff updated. Yogurt time. But yeah, then, so I forgot to mention, but then, yeah, it is exactly as suspected. The item not received case on eBay for the $3.49 item. As soon as December 13th was over, then the case automatically went to eBay, and despite in the email saying that until the Canada Post strike is resolved and operations are back to normal, all item not received cases are on hold. They ruled on it in 40 minutes and then removed all the funds from the account. It was like $7 or something, and put it to the buyer. And on eBay, you can't leave as a seller, it's impossible to leave neutral or negative feedback for buyers. Yeah, so I couldn't really do anything about that. So I did write a message on the feedback that I had left to the buyer, just basically to let other sellers know, just in case it happens again, because then it's linked to the account if they try to do something similar in the future, or something like that, just in case I could help them if they ever have a case that goes to eBay or something. But yeah, besides that, there's nothing to do. Yeah, if it had just been lost, I'd be fine. Standard refund, nothing to worry about. But in the middle of a strike, when it's sitting probably at a warehouse, just like 15 minutes from your house until the strike is over, that's just, yeah, not much you can do about that, but we expected that to happen. But yeah, so just wanted to update on that. So yeah, then this here's just the note that I added, just basically simple thing here. And so then I was just checking and I looked, and I'm not the only seller that this buyer is doing it to. So at least one other seller did the same thing as me. And yeah, so the others, so yeah, mine was very disappointed buyer, order shipped just before the strike, and as such, like millions of other packages, there's delayed. But then while the package was delayed and Canada Post was still on strike, they reported it to eBay that they never got it. They never responded to communications, and then I warned others to be very cautious of the buyer, and that I was disappointed. And then this other seller here, so horrible buyer, purchased item days before Canada Post went on strike, waited time frame, then claimed the item was not received when clear as day are sent out. Beware of buyer, can see this done to numerous people. Shady person gets money back, item free because of Canada Post strike, which has no control over. So yeah, definitely seems to be repeated behavior, and wouldn't be surprising if it was an opportunistic buyer or something like that who just wants to try to take advantage of the strike. I have no idea. I probably there's an option to appeal the case on eBay, but honestly, for a $3.49 item, it's just not worth the hassle. But yeah, let's just say that that buyer went on the stop list very fast. So yeah, then I just wanted to show the numbers in relation to the strike. So this here is from September, which is like 3 months ago. And then we have the sales are increasing from there. So the sales would have been higher in November and then October and then November, and then December would have been higher and stuff like that. So September, it would have been it was $8,393.03. So that means October would have probably been in the 9-ish thousand. And then yeah, November, did I say I meant October or something? But yeah, then either way, it would have kept going up. And then when we were in the Christmas rush, then it would have been a significant boost, and so the number probably would have been roughly around at least 10,000, probably closer to the $11,000 to $12,000 mark, if I had to guess, because of the sale that's going on and stuff like that. And so then I just ran all of the numbers, and the gross sales for the 29-day period from November 15th to December 14th, because it's the 14th today. The strike technically isn't over, but now that we know it's most likely going to be ending in just a few days, and it's been a month, I just thought that this number would work best. So during that entire 31-day period, in what is normally the busiest season of the year, sales were down to just $4,000, $56.56 across all sites for the entire period of the strike. So then, yeah, so if we estimate a rough estimate of 12,000 there, then we can do that divided by, or minus, not divided, 4,056, wrote that wrong. 4,056. Then yeah, that is roughly almost 8,000 in lost sales. So more than the 5,000 initially estimated, but a little bit below the 10,000 that was more recently estimated. 17 days left until the use purge, and time for our daily Canada Post strike update, just to see if there's been any updates on the thing. So could resume early next week if Labor Board ends strike. So it doesn't really seem to be anything new really in relation to the strike. Still waiting on the board, but I'm presuming the board is probably not going to be meeting until the next business day, which is Monday. So yeah, possibly have the strike ending early next week, hopefully. But yeah, you never know. It's not fully confirmed yet, so things can always change. But yeah, we are currently looking at that as hopefully when it will end. But yeah, this is the end of the vlog. Thanks for watching if you got this far. I'll be getting back to work on some of those minifigures later. But yeah, this is the end of the vlog. Next vlog, today's Saturday. This vlog will be out Monday, but the next vlog will be out Monday after that.